Welcome to the Green Wasp Removal YouTube channel. In this episode, we removed 2 Southern Yellowjacket nests from the same yard, one in the front yard, one in the backyard, where the homeowners had been attacked when they accidentally disturbed one of these nests while they were mowing the lawn. What you see here is an intense defensive reaction after we agitated the nest by stomping on the ground around it, similar to when you maybe mow the lawn and the lawnmower accidentally goes over this hole. This happens to people a lot, and it can be very dangerous, especially if you have any venom sensitivities or allergies that could result in anaphylactic shock. And this footage really illustrates why you really need to inspect your lawn or your garden very carefully before you start doing lawn work, just to be safe. So in this episode, we're going to take you through the whole process of how we deal with these 2 nests, from the initial inspection all the way through to when we take a specimen to make a species ID. These are very important steps that we take because we collect wasps for venom immunotherapy. All of the venom we collect gets shipped to a lab and creates allergy shots for people with severe or lethal venom allergies. So we have to be very careful about how we ID them, how we collect them, and separate all of the species in different collection bottles, that kind of thing. So we'll walk you through all that. We'll show you how we set up the vacuum extraction gear to collect all of the flying wasps. These are the forager wasps that leave the nest to go hunt or to bring back resources to the nest. These are mainly female workers that have venom sacs, and that's why they're valuable for venom immunotherapy. So we always collect those first. We'll show you how that process works, and we'll show you how we freeze the specimens in frozen CO2, which is dry ice. This preserves them at the highest quality possible for biomedical use. Then we'll show you how we dig up the brood comb, the actual nest itself, where they have the eggs, the larvae, the pupae, and how we contain those so that we can bring them back and incubate them in our vespiary lab. We always break it up into phases. Phase 1 is collecting all the adult flying wasps. Phase 2, as you see here, is digging out the brood comb. Once we have the brood comb contained, we treat the area with a non-toxic essential oil mix with soap and water. We're going to show you exactly how effective this type of non-toxic spray is. You will see that when these wasps are sprayed by this spray, they are simply knocked out. They are not going to survive. And it is unnecessary to use any type of toxic poison on any species of wasp. You simply don't need it. There are much healthier alternatives for your family, for your pets, for your property, and we're going to show you exactly what that looks like. As always, we appreciate you riding along with us. For now, let's take you back to August 5th, 2025, and we'll show you the whole job. If you enjoy the content on our channel, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment to let us know you're there. Enjoy the show. August 5th, 2025, we're at a private residence that has 2 ground nests. They've tried to mark them for us here. Here's one. Looks like a very active yellowjacket, but we'll check it out and get a species ID here. We just shake this up to stun it. Basically knock it out. All right, this species is Southern Yellowjacket. You can tell by the vertical lines on its back, up on the thorax. Very aggressive species. But those vertical lines, only Southern Yellowjackets have them. So we're going to freeze the frame here for a minute for you so you can get a close-up look at these vertical lines on the thorax of this wasp. In our region here in the Midwest, these are the only yellowjacket species that have this specific marking. There are some other types of wasps and some other yellowjackets in other regions of the continent that might have similar markings, but not around here. When we see this, it's squamosa for sure. Scientifically, they're called Vespula squamosa. It's a very beneficial native insect here in the Midwest. They're good pollinators and good for biological pest control. But if they're in a dangerous location, they absolutely have to go. Here's the second nest in the side yard. Also very active. We'll capture some specimens here to see what it is, what species. Definitely plenty of activity. The wasp will fly up into the top of the container, and then we can just drop the container down onto the cap. Makes it simple. There we go. All right, let's see what we have here. These are also Southern Yellowjackets. You see the vertical stripes on the top of their thorax there. So they have two nests of Southern Yellowjackets, both very aggressive. So we'll get these out of here. All right, we're gonna set up on the backyard nest with the battery vac, and we'll set up on the front yard nest with an electric vac. Work these simultaneously today. Right away they hesitate because they can tell something's up. We have to make sure they're not hitting too hard inside the container or they get damaged too much for venom immunotherapy. So we've got power now in the front yard vac. So we're gonna go ahead and start collecting here on this nest. You see how a little vibration just sets them off. no more reaction to agitation of the nest. So that's usually the best time to begin the dig. I'm feeling around for holes in the dirt to see where the nest tunnel leads. It feels like it's coming back this way. So this soil that we were digging in had roots everywhere. So it was very rocky, very rooty. And when it's like that, it's difficult to figure out where the tunnel is because there's so many tunnel holes. Every root system has a tunnel hole that could be the wasp hole. So we just follow best we can, feeling around. It took a little work to figure out which direction this nest was going in because it could have been in any one of these root tunnels. There's larva. Here it is. Southern Yellowjackets, they're aggressive. They hold on tight and they won't let up. You find them all over your suit. We're going to freeze the frame here for you for just a second to explain that here in this image you can see two different species coming out of this nest. The lower side where you see the red circle now, that is a Southern Yellowjacket. That is the parasitic species that took over an Eastern Yellowjacket nest, which is the one you see above here in the red circle. That has different markings on its body. So it's likely that the Eastern Yellowjacket queen is dead, having been killed by the Southern Yellowjacket queen, and all of the Southern Yellowjacket eggs and larvae that were born in that nest are flooding out now, along with whatever leftover Eastern Yellowjacket eggs are hatching out on the nest. So here you see no more reaction to the agitation of the nest with the shovel banging on the ground. If there were any left in there to attack, they would come flooding out. So now's the time that we begin to dig. During the digs like this, we typically stop periodically and just collect to keep the swarm under control and collect more for venom immunotherapy before we pull the brood comb. And this is a very aggressive species, so the more we can collect, the less we have like this crawling all over us trying to sting. It's just safer for the operator on the ground, and it's safer for bystanders anywhere in the neighborhood.
So the nest is right here, just under this turf right here, where the hose is butted up against their main entry point. I can see wasp paper there, so that's where the nest is at. They had a long tunnel going all the way across to over here. Generally follows a root tunnel. There's some roots. They're almost always built into the root system. Here's the paper nest right here. Under some more roots. Here's the back of the first comb right here. So there's a root right here that's their roof. Very thick root system, acted as their main support.
So here we're searching for the queen after we have pulled out the brood comb from the nest, because sometimes the queen is down in the dirt. We were assuming at this point that the Eastern Yellowjacket queen was already killed, and so we were looking for a bright orange Southern Yellowjacket queen, but we did not find one down in the dirt. And there were just so many root tunnels in this particular dig that it just wasn't worth the extra time to try to run down every single root tunnel, because that would have kept us there all day trying to chase the queen. In a situation like that, we just move on and go to the other nest and work on that, and we just spray down the whole nest area that used to hold the brood comb and cover it in essential oils and soap and water. All non-toxic, but it'll kill anything left in there.
So here's the backyard foragers right here. And here's the front yard. Good collection going so far. Now it's time to freeze the specimens of the first nest. This is the backyard nest.
We use dry ice that you see here. It's frozen CO2 gas. There's no liquid form. It's just solid ice until it sublimates into gas. And this knocks out the wasps in a flash freeze. It's a humane, instantaneous freeze. And it preserves the venom for venom immunotherapy at the very highest quality for biomedical use.
Now it's time to do a queen hunt. No sign of the queen in here. She may have been sucked up in the initial collection, but we don't see her here. Now we're going to treat the area with a non-toxic mix of soap and water and essential oils like peppermint clove and lemongrass.
So this non-toxic spray is just a homemade mix we use. We just get an empty commercial sprayer and we fill it with dish soap and water and peppermint, clove, and lemongrass essential oils. Very high concentration.
So if you look in here, you can tell none of these wasps can survive that oil. It knocks them down immediately and kills them. So just understand, you never use poison. There's no need for poison in wasps. Wherever you spray them with a non-toxic soap and water or essential oil, they're going to die. There's no need to poison the environment or your living space. So now we've refilled the dirt, so the hole is covered up. And now we cover the area one last time with a little bit of essential oil, soap and water. So all this dirt has their pheromones, and you just want to make it clear to them that this is no longer home. So you cover up their pheromones. So now we're in the front yard, and we're going to dig the next nest out. The tunnel's going this way. I feel it with my finger, so we're going to dig this direction. Here they come. There's the nest right there. The nest is right here. Here's the beginning of the nest paper. So right in here is where our nest is going to be. It's about 6 or 8 inches underground. Right there. It's going to be right here. Right in this area.
Right at this moment, we had a camera malfunction, and we just couldn't get the rest of this filmed. But we basically did the same thing we did on the other nest in this property. We pulled the brood comb, refilled it all, treated it with essential oil and soap and water, and then we went ahead and froze the collected wasps. And we did get the camera back up and running later on, so we can show you some of what we collected.
All right, let's freeze these, and then we're done.